Okay, we are ready for chapter 9, which is all about geometry. So we're going to just cover some basic geometric principles in this chapter. I am skipping the last two sections, both 5 and 6. We're only doing the first 4, as you'll see on the calendar. So this first one, we're just going to introduce what angles are and how to measure angles and some of the characteristics of angles. We're going to talk about those a little bit. And like I said, we're just going to kind of go through some introductory stuff with geometry. We're going to kind of go through these. We're not going to have a quiz in the middle. We're just going to have a test on this. You can call it a quiz or a test or whatever next Friday. So we are starting with measuring angles. So first we need to know, what is an angle? An angle is a figure made up of two sides intersecting at a common endpoint. And that common endpoint is called a vertex. So the vertex is the endpoint for sides of an angle. And you look at the little drawing I have down there. So I marked the sides. They're the really dark arrows that we have. And then the place where they intersect, the corner, if you will, is the vertex of the angle. So as we're looking at this, the sides are technically called rays. We won't have to necessarily get into that quite yet, but those are called rays because they have one starting point and go out forever in one direction. So those are angles, and we're going to talk about different types of angles here in a moment. So the degree, over on the next column, the degree is the measurement of an angle. So that's how we look at an angle and how we're going to measure it. So I'm going to take you through, if you kind of draw an angle similar to that. Now you may not have a protractor at home. We're going to have some of those for you in class. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to use a protractor in order to measure angles. So I want to show you just a little bit of how to use a protractor to measure angles. So if we take a look, this is my protractor, and so mine's nice and big to use on the board. What you want to do is on one side you'll see where it should say 0 and 180, and you want to line that up with this bottom line. So whatever the line is, it goes straight across this way. We're lining that up, and then this dot here is what should be at our intersection, at our vertex. So once we do that, now we're coming around. We start at 0, and I come up and around, and I find until it goes over here, and this one says 130 degrees. And so that's what this angle measures. This angle measures 130 degrees. And so you can call this example 1 if you'd like. I'm going to go through more of that in class because I think it's going to be easier when you guys have protractors and can follow along with me. But for now, just kind of know that we line up the bottom with the 0. The corner goes there's a little middle center here. That goes with our vertex. And then we read wherever this ray comes out, we read whatever angle goes there. So that's what we do there. So now we're going to go through and I'm going to talk about some types of angles that we're going to look at. And we're only going to talk about a few of them today. We're going to get to more different... Okay. Let's talk about 4 different types of angles. The first one is called a right angle. And it is exactly 90 degrees. The second one is called acute angle. And it's less than 90 degrees. So one way to remember this is acute is kind of like it's small, it's cute, it's tiny. Because it's less than 90 degrees. It's going to be smaller angles. Obtuse is the one that are bigger than 90. So we're going to say bigger than 90. But less than 180. Because the biggest an angle can be is 180. So it's bigger than 90 degrees but less than 180. If you think of obtuse, you kind of think of, large and grand and a big obtuse angle. But then if we look at the last one, it's called a straight angle. Well, a straight angle is just going to be a straight line. And that's going to be exactly 180 degrees. So 4 types of angles. We have exactly 90, exactly 180, then we have less than 90, and then we have between 90 and 180. So I'm just going to draw a picture for you of each of these. A right angle is going to be a corner. Okay, and we have this little square that marks 90. So this is a right angle. Acute is going to look something like this. So it's smaller. Obtuse is going to look something like this. We just looked at an obtuse angle because it's between 90 and 180. And a straight angle is just going to be a straight line. So their next question to us, and this is what some of your homework's going to be about, besides measuring, you're also going to be looking at classifying angles. So if I give us 2 angles to classify, so this is going to be a quick example number 2. So letter A, if I have this angle, we want to classify this angle. So comparing it to this, remember this is 90 degrees. So you can kind of think of, is it bigger or smaller than a corner? Is it bigger or smaller than our 90 degrees? It's smaller than. So this is going to be an acute angle. Let's take a look at this one. So it's really large, but is it a full straight line? It's not. There's still a little corner of it. It still kind of goes up here a little bit. So this is going to be obtuse, not straight. And that is all that there is to this lesson. We're just going to be classifying things as either right, acute, obtuse, or straight. And then we're going to be doing some measuring, which I want to spend some more time with you in class on doing that as well. So this is it. Homework is on the calendar. We'll be doing that tomorrow in class. So make sure you have your books, and I will be providing protractors for you.